The Spudcast is brought to you by welcome to Dornax Food. Actually, welcome to the new and improved Dornax Food Center. Wait till you see all the improvements we've made. A new bakery department? Yeah, we got that. An expanded floral department? And a larger produce section? Yeah, we got that.
We've redesigned the store to make it easier to shop. Don't you just love the new floors?
A new cafe area with a new menu? Oh, yeah. We got that. A better shopping experience? Yeah, you'll get that at Dornax Food Center.
Jamie wanted a taste of the real New Orleans, and we just couldn't say no to that face. Then we wanted more of that local flavor. So Betty says, oh yeah, that's Betty. You're gonna wanna do this alligator thing. And Betty didn't lead us wrong. A little later, we passed some dancing. And who doesn't like dancing? Especially when it's followed by fireworks. Everyone's NOLA is different. Follow yours.
Do your legs often feel tired, heavy, achy, have swelling or cramps and restlessness at night? Some problems are obvious, others run deeper. Don't live with it when you can live instead. Dr. Randall Juleff, cardiovascular surgeon, treats venous insufficiency in office with no downtime for you. Covered by Medicare and most insurance. Not sure if your veins are the problem? The virtual vein screening is the right start. Online at labellavitavein.com. Hey, where you at, baby? Spud here. I've met a lot of people, and I've played some too. And there's one thing I know. People like to talk. Spud on TV. Now you're talking.
And stay out of the Woolworth.
Go grab a cup of coffee, because we got to talk.
And if you're looking for great service, we absolutely got that.
Yeah, you right. It's the Spudcast. That's where you at. Yeah, baby. Glad to see y'all here on the Spudcast. This time we're going to class things up a little bit with a performance from the New Orleans Volunteer Orchestra. You know, and then something for all you science geeks out there as well to find out about the Greater New Orleans Science and Engineering Fair. Very cool stuff. Dr. Annette Ertling is going to join us. First, though, just across the CCC, we're talking GGG, as in Gretna's got it going on, y'all. Here to tell us all about all the exciting stuff happening in historic Gretna, the mayor herself, the Honorable Belinda Constant, because now you're talking. Belinda Constant, look at you. So the first thing she tells me is like, I thought you were on the radio. What are you doing?
I thought today was a radio tape.
No, there ain't no radio days no more. That's in my past. But look at you. I mean, what is this, your radio outfit? You look fabulous. What are you talking about?
This is what I pulled out this morning.
I like the herringbone. Well, when I ran into you, when me and Perry went and talked to you, Perry Martin, and went over and talked to Belinda about the new theater space that's opening up, which you're going to talk to you about that.
Yes.
I mean, so this is everyday mayor clothes. You looked fine then, you know.
I try.
Well, I mean, look, you know, my wife makes me put on a clean shirt to come do this. I mean, I am used to the radio. I remember my boss over there was telling me one time, I'm going, maybe I should dress up more. And it's like, I was wearing short pants and a Hawaiian shirt. He goes, you're on the radio. Who cares what you look like, you know?
That's true.
So nobody cares, but now they do. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
I know you are, because I'm such a joy. Let's get right down to the nitty gritty.
Yes.
Where did the term Gretna come from? What is a Gretna? You know, I mean, it sounds like something if I was wearing corduroy pants, I would get it rubbing on my knee or something. What is Gretna? I mean, there was a guy named Joe Gretna and they named the city after him, or what?
Actually, no. Fable has it. It's as a result, or our namesake is actually named after Gretna Green, Scotland.
Okay.
Because during the way back in the 1800s, okay, young people would leave England, cross the border, and go over to Scotland, Gretna Green, which was really close, and were able to get married without their parents' permission.
Ah.
Well, so the story goes same as with Gretna.
So Gretna was the elopement capital of the New Orleans area.
It was the place to get married by a local justice of the peace. But we celebrate that history every Valentine's Day, actually. Local
You have like a
judge,
mass wedding over there?
We do. We do.
You really do?
We really
you have to like
do.
invite people. Well, I want to get married. Well, wait till Valentine's Day because we'll
Valentine's
be like
Day?
Sun Young Moon and we'll marry 5,000 of you at one time.
Absolutely. Judge Vernon Wiltie does that every Valentine's Day in our local blacksmith shop, which is located right behind the historic complex in the city of Gretna.
Which a lot of people don't know. I mean, when you say, a lot of people say historic this, historic Gretna, there's a lot of cool things in downtown Gretna. If you ain't been there in a while, well, that stuff's been there a long time. So
yes, but I appreciate that plug. You're right, Spud. I mean, there's lots of great things in Gretna. Not just new things happening, but we celebrate a huge history in our city. And in fact, part of that historic complex that I'm talking about, where the blacksmith shop is located, is the original David Crockett Fire Station, which is, as a lot of people don't know, David Crockett Fire Company #1 is the longest volunteer actively running fire department in the country, continuously running as a volunteer company. So we're very proud of a lot of the heritage that we celebrate in our city.
Why ain't it Jim Bowie? Because Jim Bowie's from down here. David Crockett's from Tennessee, born on a mountaintop in Tennessee.
That is
Killed
very
a bear
true.
when he was only 3.
That's it. You've got that.
So somebody came down here. He killed a bar and go, I'm going to go down to Gretna and open up a firehouse down there, and I guess I'll go to Tejas, by God.
But it's an incredible historic complex, and that's part of the complex. So yeah, we've got lots of great things that happen there. Separate and apart, of course, from the Gretna Heritage Festival, which most people know us from.
It's
in the
international.
surrounding, yes, and it's international. We had lots of people from outside the country that was there this past year, and actually continue to come back annually as a vacation. So it's celebrated.
What spawned that? I mean, were y'all just impressed with the Jazz and Heritage Foundation, or because I mean, not everybody, but there's so many. I mean, we now call it fair season, festival season. You know, from as soon as it gets halfway warm until it's miserably hot in August. Every weekend you got 8-10 fairs. I mean, the one in Gretna, y'all did it up right, and it's getting bigger and bigger, and you get internationally named stars, but. Why do that to begin with when they had all that across the river?
Well, you know, it didn't start off to be a music festival that it is today.
Mm-hmm.
It really started off to be the Gretna Heritage Festival, was to celebrate our German history. It was started by the Gretna Historic Society. In the early days, it was really just like a little local type fair. It evolved into a music festival because the more they engaged the music, the more the people came.
Yeah.
I think it is who we are in this area of the state, and you know, being as close as we are to New Orleans. I mean, music is just within the fabric of each one of us, and music
Y'all got
draws
Jimi Hendrix
people.
over there, and he set his guitar on fire, and then a bunch of guys in coonskin caps came and put the fire out. Okay, okay. I'm trying to get it all in perspective over here. You know?
Not quite that way.
Oh, okay.
But it truly did evolve as a music fair, and it is as it is today.
How much of the city does it actually take up? I mean, that whole downtown area.
I think it's about
booths.
16 square blocks, I
Yeah.
believe it is now, up to like 6 or 7 stages, and that varies, you know, from year to year. But you know, what we're most proud of is that it helps at upwards around 50, 60 nonprofits that really their operating budget is.
It's like their Black Friday is the Gretna Heritage
Absolutely,
Festival.
this is
They
their
make their money
operating
for the year.
budget for the rest of the year.
Have you found that with all the controversy with the bridge and the money and all that's gone away, so we got a lot of people driving, but there were so many people who relied on the ferries, and the ferries don't seem to be. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't.
You know,
sometimes the
struggling.
state's got money.
It's absolutely a
Y'all
subject.
took a hit when the ferries left.
We absolutely did. It's something that we're making sure is at the forefront of the people, the powers to be, their mind, that we're still interested and will try to get that water transit back into our transit system. I think it's a vital part of our economic development plan for the downtown area of our city. We've got people moving back to the downtown area. A lot of those people are young professionals, families with one car. And so multi-mode transit is absolutely at the top of my list for importance. We're excited about the fact that we've got local transit back into our city. Spud, in fact, we lost our local transit system post-Katrina. It didn't didn't come back. We now have a local bus that runs from the Transit Authority under the Overpass Express at the expressway close to Oakwood into downtown Gretna. That just came back about 7-8 months ago. We're excited about that, and we've got great hopes for the future of water transit on the Mississippi.
Well, I mean, what is the... I know Venice and other European cities, and actually New York has this too, and they have the water taxis. I mean, could somebody come to you and go, you know what, I got an old work boat over here, or an old crew boat. I spent a summer working on a crew boat, and that's a 95-foot-long boat. You could put a lot of people on a crew boat.
Well,
you know?
I know that the local transit system, the Transit Authority in New Orleans, is looking at possibly that type of vessel to use as a passenger or pedestrian vessel and water transit system. And we're invited to those meetings. We're excited about the opportunity to maybe be a part of a master plan of water transit on the river. You know, we down here look at our river in a different light than what most people across the country or across the world look at their waterways. We see it as that muddy Mississippi we talk about all the time. Yeah. We see it as purely industrial, and that's not really what it could be.
It's either big ships plying their trays up and down the ports, or it's paddle wheelers.
Yes.
You know, and that's it. Well, that doesn't have to be. And again, you know, get a water taxi.
So I think there's lots of open discussion right now going on about that possibility.
What's stopping from somebody from doing it? Just
I mean,
an actual wharf.
It comes down to money.
Well, I mean, if the actual ferries themselves are not operating, there's a wharf right there doing nothing. I mean, if I had, and I ain't doing this, but if I had the money and a boat, how come I couldn't go cut a deal with all y'all? Here, $1 a head. No cars, bicycles. Anything that's motorized can go across the bridge. This is strictly bicycles and pedestrians, wheelchairs, things like that.
Yes.
Anything powered with your feet, I'll run you across the river. Because the thing of it is, you know, I talked with Jim Donnellan about, you know, auto insurance and things like that, and it's like, you know, is it a driving, is it a right, is it a privilege or whatever? But the fact is, whether or not you drive a car, you pay tax dollars, and those tax dollars build bridges and maintain roads. But if you don't have a car, you can't go walking on the spillway, or you can't walk across the causeway. I'm going, I paid for it. How come I can't walk across it?
You know, I think you're going to continue to hear people bring to the forefront the focus of the Mississippi River because it is our highway of the future. We're not going to truck economics across this country on highways. And the Mississippi River is one of the great wonders of our country when you look at what it does and how it promotes lifestyle as we know it, from the top of the country all the way down to the bottom.
Everybody who grows an ear of corn anywhere up in there, of course they all dump their fertilizer in the river, and that gives us a nice dead zone off the coast every year. Thank you so very much.
Right.
But the fact is, you know, it's just not economically feasible to truck all that stuff with trucks and trains. You put it on a ship and you bring it down, or barges, and you bring it down the river. Yeah,
container on barge is a huge discussion ongoing right now throughout the country.
And yet everybody still competes with us because Mobile is trying to expand.
Yes.
They're so proud of themselves because they got that steel plant and everything else in Houston and West Lake Charles. They're all talking about, we're going to build a big container so we steal some of those ships when they started redoing the Panama Canal. Going,
yes.
I'm sorry, you know what? It's the port of New Orleans, but it's the port of Louisiana from Plaquemines all the way north of Baton Rouge is the biggest port in the world, isn't it?
Yes.
And that's and Gretna's right smack dab in the middle.
And I think, you know, it would behoove us to pay attention to what's going on in that river. I think you're going to see lots of changes for many different reasons on the Mississippi.
Are those changes coming because of all the like lake riverfront, you know, parks and all that other kind of stuff? I mean,
I think, you know, it's kind of like, you know, we do concert series after Gretna Fest, and it's dubbed Back to the River Concert Series. But there's a lot to say about Back to the River. I mean, if you look at the way housing develops, it develops now close to a water, be it a river, a bay, a lake. People love that sense of tranquility. I think that houses on water brings in a lot of, it's a trend of people wanting to move either back to the river or back to any type of waterway. I think that's part of the reason, but I think more in this area, it's about economics, and it's about what the river means to us as a region and to us as a country. country. I think it's critical. I serve on a board. It's a national board of mayors that abut the Mississippi, and I think we need to pay attention to what's going on that waterway. As you said, everything that is up there comes down. We see it now with the floods that we're looking at every day.
About what did Kevin Davis say? They're probably going to pull the pins on the spillway this Saturday, something like that.
Yes. So I mean, it's something that we should pay attention to, and I think the more we pay attention to it, the more we realize opportunities such as waterborne transit. How
is Gretna doing since Katrina? Because everybody's got their own different pace that they're coming back. I mean, there's still areas in the city. There are things that have been just abandoned. There are other things that have been completely revamped and redone. They've attracted so many people to the area. They keep hearing about New Orleans being the entrepreneurial capital and everything else. I mean, how is Gretna doing, and how much can you piggyback on the rest of that stuff?
I think Gretna is in a great place right now. I think first off, we were blessed not to be devastated the way New Orleans was devastated. Our levees, thank God, did not break, okay? So that...
But you didn't have they don't have the same types like the flood walls.
No.
You don't have as much on that side of the river.
No, that's true. But we did have a barge that ran into the
levee.
That's true that could have, you know what I'm saying? We had barges afloat everywhere.
Or was the insurance on that school bus? Huh?
Exactly. You're right. So, it's these natural disasters. Who knows who gets the brunt of whatever that's going to be? And God bless us, we did not. So Gretna's in a good place, and I think, but I always say, so goes New Orleans, so goes Gretna. I think New Orleans is doing lots of great things right now, and there's so much focus worldwide on that city, and it's doing so well.
With the 300th anniversary, I mean, y'all gonna piggyback on that. There's gonna be stuff, obviously. Everybody in this whole region is gonna be piggybacking on 300 years. They might have found it on that side of the river, but y'all were right on the other side of the river.
And our focus in Gretna is a regional focus, and I think that is something that comes back in a positive way. The result of that comes back in a positive way to us. We're not New Orleans. We're a small historic community that has a lot to offer New Orleans. We see ourselves in a lot of ways as the bedroom community. We're preparing to be able to be the housing stock that the new medical center and all of those jobs that goes with that.
All those areas that are going, like, you can't go to the North Shore, that's too far away.
Exactly.
So you got to look at Gretna, you got to look at Old Metairie, Lakeview, and Mid-City, all those areas. And Holly Grove, that place is jumping up too.
And so those are the kind of things we look at. How are we? What type of player are we in a much bigger region? And that's what we try to capitalize on. What we have to offer: a safe community, a family-oriented community, a community that has great property value. Yet we have nice housing stock that maybe isn't what it is in other places.
Are you starting to see that rebuild? I mean.
We are
where are you at? About 17, 18,000? I mean, the highest y'all were like 28 or 30.
Yeah, we're about 18,000.
So, I mean, there was a bunch of going and coming and such. You dropped some, but you've been steady coming up like 1,000, maybe 1,500 a year since.
Yeah, and actually, I think we were never at the high 20s, but we were in the low 20s. And we're hovering back and forth, between 500, over that 500 number, back and forth. We're about 18,000 right now, and I love every day when we see people looking to come into the city, looking to renovate a historic home, or looking for, our school systems in the city. We're blessed to have 3 magnet schools in our city.
They're still run by Jefferson Parish,
they're
but they're
absolutely
in Gretna.
Yes, they're part of the public school system in Jefferson Parish, but they're great schools, and from the kindergarten and all the way through high school, those magnet schools are within our incorporated city. So we've got a lot of good stuff going on in the city.
Well, I know you got this new building. I took that old post office building, and you're converting it into a because Belinda says, we're building a new theater in Gretna. I'm going, I'm there, let's go see. Well, it's a multi-use building, but there is the possibility of putting on good theater there. So will I come and do the Kingfish there? Yeah, it's just a matter of the logistics. We're going to do that.
Yes,
but
I'm excited about that.
Yeah, it'll play well in there, and I've never done it on that side of the river.
We're excited about that. There you go. That's a post office building. It's a historic post office. It served as a post office for many, many years. And now, as you said, it's been transitioned into a black box, multi-purpose theater. And it is a room that can be whatever you need it to be, because we know theater's not cheap. You're well aware of what it takes to do theater, and to do it right, it takes money.
I know how to cut corners, you know. But you still, you know what? It costs money to put on a good show.
Yeah, so we're excited about it. We've had weddings there already. We haven't done an official ribbon cutting yet. We're working on that now, and I'm looking forward to Kingfish. And one day we'll get that line signed, and we'll be in an agreement to put it on. We're excited.
It's just literally, it's just a matter of the logistics of it. It's like the contracts and the, you know, how many seats, and it's just all that little detail-y stuff, but it's, you know, you can. And,
you know, we talked about that and what it means to me because of the history of UEP Long.
UEP Long Avenue is a big deal.
Happened.
Tell everybody the story about UEP Long Avenue.
I have to tell that story because during the campaign back in the 30s and when he was on the campaign trail, UEP came to Gretna and said the street wasn't paved, and he promised the people if they'd named that street, which was then called Copernicus, if we'd named that street UEP Long Avenue, he'd make sure that that money came through for that street to be paved.
He wasn't vain or anything like that.
Of course not. Of course not. So today that street bears his name, and I think it's so appropriate that the post office sits on UEP Long Avenue. So
and his picture's in the post office too.
Bring Kingfish right there, right back there.
No, I think it'll play well. Well, I like that area too. I mean, we were there for Christmas, and you had like the big silver elk and reindeer and all. I mean, y'all have like a Christmas, like Natchitoches up in northern parts. They got that Christmas lights. It's beautiful.
Yes.
And I mean, we got Celebration in the Oaks. We got a bunch of stuff, but boy, that Christmas lights with that little river that runs right through the center of the town.
That's a wonderful.
It's a wonderful thing.
Absolutely,
I mean, you know, what's the chances of throwing that into the mix in Gretna one of these days?
I don't know, but we
you know, everybody donate your Christmas lights every year. We'll light the whole place up with LEDs that, you know, people donated after they took them off their house. Or you can go down to St. Bernard and take all theirs off their roofs, and the people at St. Bernard go, "Oh, thank you. We thought we'd never get rid of these lights." So I learned that.
We did our share of decorating this year.
So.
We did our share of decorating this year. Got lots of great comments about the way the city looks. So I think the constituency is pleased about the state of the city at this point in time.
Plus, y'all sell fireworks.
Sell fireworks. We do sell
y'all
fireworks.
Y'all the only ones that do that. I got to cross the river to buy fireworks.
You see?
You know.
But you do.
Well, you're not supposed to. No, I don't do that. It's illegal to pop fireworks in Metairie.
No, but you pop them in Gretna as well. You buy and pop.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah,
that's
at the
what
river.
I did for New Year's.
At the
I
river.
brought all my kids over across the river. Yeah, I do that every year. You know, we sit on the river and eat cantaloupe and sit on bottle rockets.
You know, there was hundreds of people on the river popping fireworks.
Yeah, I mean, come on. You know. You also have a big old farmer's market over there, too.
We do. We have our farmer's market every Saturday morning. Our market runs from 8:30 to 12:30.
Is it just farmers, or they have like crafts and stuff, too? Because I know there's a lot of things we like to go to. They have food, but they also have artists bringing in stuff. There's some artist up in, where are they from? Hammond or someplace up, maybe St. Francisville, who takes wood, like old logs, and then carves them into like
bowls
big bowls
and stuff. I don't know if it's the same individual, but he comes to Gretna, too. We have an art walk that happens the second Saturday of each month. So that's the Saturday where the farmers market is in combination with local artists. And I think they feature one artist every week, and then the art walk people come second Saturday of each month.
Where does all the produce come from? I mean, these are all local farmers?
Local, but mostly Ponchatoula, Hammond. We've got the peaches that come from...
You got Ruston peaches?
No, we've got Alabama peaches.
Alabama?
Alabama. They drive 2.5 hours to come to our farmer's market on Saturdays.
Alabama peaches? When
yes.
You can have Ruston? Of course, that's 6 hours from Ruston.
Yeah. So we've got those peaches when it's peach season, and we've got, as you said, the Backnells and the citrus farms from Belchase, and other local farms, Ponchatoula, strawberries.
The strawberry
salmon,
thing, the strawberry festival up there. So that's something that they do up there. The festival up there got so big that they have like big shuttle buses, like 40-passenger buses. Go park at the shopping center on the interstate, and then take the bus to downtown Ponchatoula, because it's just, you know, the city itself is can accommodate the foot traffic. They can't accommodate the cars.
Absolutely.
Do y'all find that with a Heritage Festival too?
Yeah,
You gotta do the same
absolutely.
thing?
Parking at West Side North or Oakwood or
and catch a shuttle
something
bus
in Harvey.
They do that with the French Quarter Fest. Go park over there by the convention center and catch a shuttle or catch the streetcar and that kind of stuff.
Bring them
All right,
in.
last thing, because I got a couple of minutes here.
Sure.
I saw this article, Gretna officials working to update cities' outdated laws. And y'all working with this company, this Florida-based company, Municipal Code Corporation. Y'all got a bunch, I mean, is this like a bunch of those old stupid laws you can pull up, go, give me stupid laws, and they go, in the state of Louisiana, it's illegal for you to spit on the sidewalk while you're walking your alligator on a Tuesday.
Yes.
You know?
Your cat must be on a leash, those kind of things. Yes. That's what this
And
is
so,
mostly about that. Absolutely. It's our Muni Code is the company that has written our ordinances, and they update our ordinances every month, actually. There's not been a recodification in many years. So it's a look at all those old things. Laws change, state law changes as it relates to not just ordinances, but criminal code maybe, or
enforcement, I mean code enforcement, like you're talking about redoing old historic houses. I mean,
yes.
some people get so cuckoo in their restoration of old houses that, you know, nobody wants to do
this
it.
is a recodification exercise, and I would be a proponent of doing this at least every 5 to 7 years.
Well, that's something I've said, that they should do that in the legislature. About every 4 years, they should spend one session, or at least 1 month in one session, doing nothing but getting rid of the old stupid laws that don't apply.
Because there's a lot of it, when you look at it, you're like, oh, wow, I can't believe this exists.
Yeah.
But it's because it's been in that, whatever, 600-page document. It's never come up. Nobody's ever looked at it in the last 30 years, so it still exists.
Here's one. Garbage must be cooked before it's fed to your hogs. I mean, I have a really good corn cob recipe that's going to go right out the window if they change that law.
I know.
So
there is some old interesting things.
But that adds character. You know what you should do is in your descriptions of Gretna, why people could come here and go, here's a little book you can buy with all the stupid laws that don't apply anymore. Yeah, that's a great idea.
But
then have recipes for hog garbage.
That sounds like a place, but I see that as
you just
theater at some point in time, maybe.
You're a trip. How long you been mayor?
I was elected April 2013.
And
I'll be.
Is this one of these things where it's term limited, like
year.
you can only do 2?
There is no term limit.
No term limit. So
there
as long
are no
as
term limits.
you want to be mayor forever, then if everybody's happy with you.
I'm looking forward to a campaign and being reelected.
Okay.
In 2017.
Well,
I love my job. I tell everybody I love what I do. I love this size of government. I've enjoyed being close to the people, and I think there's still a lot of purity in small town America.
Look, when you and I were talking, they had 2 ladies walk up, and you're giving them directions like you're a tour guide instead of just the mayor. Where a lot of other cities, the mayor would go, get one of my flunkies to do that. And you didn't even have a flunky.
No.
And
that's what they expect from small government, and that's why I enjoy what I do.
Well, I enjoy having you here. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
So I will see you in February, and we will do the Kingfish in Gretna.
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking up. It's going to be fun. I like Gretna. It's a hoot, except when you got to go to court. Up next, Dr. Annette Ortling is going to be on Now You Talk, and she's going to tell us about science fairs that are coming up so your kid can create cool, magical science things, and she's going to tell us how to do it. Right next, here on the Spudcast on WLAE. Since John Venturella opened the doors in 1967, Southland Plumbing Supply's focus has always been on excellence. Now, 3 generations of Venturella's attention to detail are on display in every square foot of Southland's premier plumbing and lighting design centers. Names like Kohler and Curry & Company Lighting, a wide variety of kitchen and bath fixtures to fit any budget, all presented with Southland style. Metairie or Mandeville and online at southlandplumbingsupply.com. Do yourself a favor and take a walk around the outside of your home. Is it time to paint? I faced the old painting challenge a whole bunch of years ago, and we went with Rhino Shield, and boy, are we happy. We'll never have to paint again. No peeling, no cracking, no chipping, and backed by a 25-year transferable warranty. And it comes in any color. Our home is the color of butter. They do it all from prep to cleanup. 877-52-RHINO. And there's even more information at myhouseislikebutter.com.
Value, strength, security, endurance. Qualities of metal that stand the test of time. Southern Coin and Precious Metals knows all about it. With professional numismatists on site, buying, selling, gold or silver, antique currency for investor or collector, their motto is, "We know coins," and a whole lot more. Nearly 4 decades of expert investments. Southern Coin and Precious Metals, 4513 Zenith Street, or online at scpm.com.
Peretz Army Surplus, family owned and operated since 1926, carries everything surplus with new items every day. Plus, when you're heading outdoors, Peretz is the first stop for the gear that will get you there. Clothing, tents, cookware, tools, knives, you name it. And big brands like 511, military and more, because Peretz puts the plus in Army Surplus on Williams Boulevard in Kenner and online at PeretzArmySurplus.com.
At Haydell's Bakery, quality runs in the family. 3 generations of Haydell's dedication have made life much sweeter for families in the metro area and across the globe since the 1950s. Cookies, pastries, celebration cakes, and king cakes, baked fresh daily as only Haydell's can. A real bakery in the grand New Orleans tradition. Haydell's Bakery, still at 4037 Jefferson Highway and online at haydellbakery.com.
Your taste buds will sing with Frejons salt-free Cajun seasonings. All of the taste with none of the salt. Whether fried, baked, grilled, or in a gumbo, Frejons got it going on. Available today at your local grocers. There's more online, BrotherJohnFoods.com for all the delicious details.
Frejons got it going on.
Frejons got it going on.
That's the one.
Look who's talking. It's Dr. Annette Ertling. Even though it ain't spelled Ertling, it's spelled Ortling.
That's correct.
But now my name is Spud, so I can't really complain about too many people. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Doing very well.
Well, I would imagine so. I mean, you got a cool gig with this science fair, robotic type of cool stuff. Although we're here to talk about the science fair, but you also deal with robots, so we're going to make sure we devote a few minutes to that. But the Greater New Orleans Science Fair is coming up, gnosef.org for all of you people who want to get involved, gnosef.org. What is the gnosef.org?
It is the regional science fair for Orleans, Jefferson, Plaquemine, and St. Bernard. And this is going to be the 60th annual regional fair in the city of New Orleans. So it's been around for quite a long time.
I mean, way back to when you like pumped gas with a pump, you know, and now they got, oh, look at this electronic stuff. It's astounding.
Absolutely. It's been around for a while. I've been involved post-Katrina, since Katrina. But it's great. It's, you know, Louisiana has a number of regions. We happen to be region number 9. And so schools can have their own science fairs or not necessarily.
We were talking about that. My school has a social studies fair. They, you know, the 8th graders and such, but but they don't do science fair stuff. But they've got, look, it's a good little school, Ridgewood. I mean, they send people, like 85% of their graduates get scholarships, and I mean, some to like Harvard and some to the Air Force Academy and things like that. My daughter got a scholarship to Loyola.
That's wonderful.
So yeah, but we're all artists, so we don't do science. I mean, you know, if you try to make one of them volcanoes, and it's just, it don't do nothing. It won't even smoke. So
but sometimes there's a crossover there between art and science. You know, we humans put those lines there, but there's a lot of gray area.
No, we play the banjo, okay? So there's no science involved in that other than the tuning fork.
Hey, there's a lot of science of sound, you know.
Well, that's true too.
Yeah.
But I mean, so somebody could do a science project or science fair. Well, wait, let me get back to what I was saying. They don't have a science fair, but however, students from my kids' school could go to this.
Absolutely. And so the way it works is that schools or homeschool associations can nominate 3 projects per category. And in the junior division, which is middle school, we have 9 different categories. And in the senior division, there are 17 different categories. It's broken out a little bit more. And so schools can nominate 3 projects per category, whether they have a science fair or not.
What kind of categories are we talking? Like, you know, make a new abrasive cleaner, or I mean, you know.
No, if you think of the typical science.
Anarchist handbook or something like that. I mean, is that here's I'm published now. Look, Ma. I can take household chemicals and boom.
We'd rather not do that.
But it's science. So
yeah, well, that's why we have our scientific review committee.
Ah,
but
okay,
anyway,
I gotcha.
anyway,
Okay.
so the different categories, at the junior division level, it's broken down into 2 different biology categories, a chemistry, a physical science, physics and astronomy type category.
But I mean, like the volcano type of
environmental.
thing is like the.
Well, when people mention volcanoes, that's typically something that you see at the elementary level because that's more of a.
That would be my level.
That's more of
The best I could do.
a demonstration rather than scientific inquiry. That is demonstrating.
But somebody could study vulcanization.
Yes,
and
yes,
that would
they
be a
could.
study thing. So I mean, so is this like not cool for anybody to go to this and watch it? Am I going to? Oh, it's a whole bunch of term papers. How exciting! I'd rather go and see the kids with the volcano going up.
I'm not sure what to say to that.
Well, but I mean, is that what it is? It's a bunch of scientific inquiry. So I mean, people like you who are scientists go, "Wow, look at this stuff! He invented, the double-ended Q-tip."
I would say that even we're open to the public.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, it's a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and on Wednesday afternoon and Thursday morning, we're open to the public. And people come in and are just so amazed at what our kids are investigating. I mean, there are some truly innovative, inspiring projects out there that not only our high school students, but that our middle school students are involved in. And that's what we really want to encourage. We want to encourage our kids to ask questions, not only about how things work in the world around them, but how they can solve problems. There's one category, one project comes to mind, this amazing project, in my opinion, from last year from an 8th grade student who was dismayed that the teacher parking lot at her school flooded every time it rained. And so she started investigating rain gardens. And she actually did the study on what it takes to create a rain garden. She applied for grants. There are grants that are available through our organization. And she actually got the community involved, and they built a rain garden at Ben Franklin Elementary.
I don't know what a rain garden is.
Well,
But I do know. Okay, I live in Old Metairie, and on Metairie Road, they're fixing to do some kind of new, green space park there. That's going to have some. It's not rain garden is not the term, but it is a study in flooding and water, and it's supposed to be like, while you sit there and eat your sandwich at lunch, you can still learn a little bit about drainage and different things like that. So.
Well, I'm not sure what they're doing, but basically that's what it is. It's a way to both have the function of having drainage, so you have to have a big pit that you fill with concrete, a means for the water to flow into. And the aesthetics.
And that's what happened with the parking lot. I mean, so
the
now it doesn't flood anymore. It all water stuff. They save water when.
Yes,
you could sell it to
doesn't
California.
flood.
That's where the grants come from.
Well, it drains into this rain garden and eventually disperses. So it's not like they're collecting the water for later use. They're just trying to take the water and
But that's a
funnel
study
it
in
off.
itself too. They got all these things they sell where like
course.
the your drains come down and you can save water for when it
Absolutely.
So that would be something that somebody could do in this science fair project. How to store rainwater for,
Right.
Because cisterns used to be outlawed. It's kind of ridiculous, But all right.
Well, it falls into 2 categories. So one is engineering, which is let's solve a problem. How can we take what we know about science and how can we come up with a system or a device to solve a particular problem, which in the case of this rain garden, that's exactly what that was, environmental engineering. Or it can be scientific inquiry, where you're trying to understand something more about problems or nature that exist.
Do you find that, we're looking at a picture right now, and there's a young lady involved, and is this the girl who fixed the rain garden thing?
This is Kiana Cave, and she was actually from Lusher, and I'm trying to read the title of her project here.
Petroleum from the deep well-worn horizon,
Yes. So she was looking at different methods for cleaning up oil spills.
Beyond the little environmental cooties and all the stuff that they sprayed into the ocean.
And she actually was one of our winners and went to ICEF, the International Science and Engineering Fair last year.
Do you see, since you came aboard, or has it always been mostly guys or mostly girls? Or are you seeing more of one sex coming into this that you didn't see before?
Right now.
Because I guess I'm a misogynist because I'm the whole school, but I'm not surprised, but normally I wouldn't expect to see a girl doing that kind of stuff, My wife's calling me names in my ear as we speak. But I mean, I wouldn't, you know, like, oh, somebody did this, and if I just walked up and went, oh, here's a project, oh, look at this, I would think it was a guy who did that. But
well, I'm sitting here as a female engineer listening to what you're saying.
Yeah.
Going,
well, my
yeah,
dad was an
you're a
engineer.
little old school.
Well, so what? I'm old school. So what? They made a movie called Old School. They didn't do Young Scientific Babes. I ain't seen that one. Anyway. No, I mean, do you see more and more? Are you seeing more girls attracted to this stuff and them enrolling more into these things?
Sure, and there's
well,
a great...
don't say it to patronize me. I mean, are you actually seeing it because these kinds of things exist? Are you surprised at the people who are coming that, you know, like people like me wouldn't expect to see them show up in things like this?
Well, since I've been involved, I haven't noticed a sizable change, but I've only been involved since Katrina.
And
so
60
recent.
Years so I would imagine
days.
60 years ago it was just guys.
Yeah.
And
now, amazingly enough, it usually works out to about half and half, girls and guys.
But,
so
I mean, okay.
There's a lot of interest by young women in science and engineering, regardless of what you might think.
Well, I mean, look, you want old school? I mean, I remember my dad telling me stories. My dad was a flight instructor in World War II, and he goes, they had a whole bunch of women pilots. You know, and he goes, they were damn good pilots, but the only thing they let them do was ferry airplanes and tow targets. They don't do anything else, you know.
Well, I have to say,
them days is long gone.
It is amazing what women engineers and scientists have been accomplishing. My daughter graduated several years ago and is an engineer out at the Norco refinery from Motiva. I mean, I
drive by there all the time. About 2 in the morning
more...
is when it really smells the worst.
Yeah.
So tell her to get the bucket brigade out there while she's at it, you know.
Right. But
well, she's out there with a mask on going, yeah, that's a good gig.
There's certainly...
So much for asking Norco to support the Spudcast. Huh? Okay.
There's certainly a lot more interest now than there was when I was growing up, and I think it's because more and more women are seeing the possibilities, and they're being encouraged to look at the possibilities.
Well, I remember listening to, I'm getting off on this woman thing, but I remember reading an article and then seeing this documentary talking about women who were now airline pilots, you know. And before, one of the things, you know, they couldn't be like bomber pilots and such in World War II and the early Korean War because they didn't have the hydraulics. You needed the upper body strength to do. But since science has advanced so much, I mean, computers fly everything. You just tell the computer what to do. So, I mean, frankly, things like this fair that have opened up people's minds have now opened up doors that weren't open before because they just physically weren't able to do it.
Right.
You could study it, you could plan it, but to actually get in the plane and go, you didn't possess the strength, and now you don't need it.
Well, if you look at the different areas of scientific inquiry and engineering design, it becomes very obvious that there really is no need to delineate between what's appropriate for men.
Who's got the smarts and can do it.
Who has the interest. A project that I remember from the International Fair a few years ago was so amazing in its simplicity, and it was done by a young woman who worked in an animal shelter, and it was all about cats and how some people are allergic to cats. Well, she learned that there are some cats that have the allergen that affects people and some cats don't. And so she developed a swab where you could swab the cat to see if the cat had
ask where
and test
swab,
it
but it did
in
the
the
length
mouth.
of hair. Oh, okay.
In the mouth, just a cotton swab in the cat's mouth.
Did the length of their hair have anything to do with it?
No.
Just so, I mean, they got those strange Egyptian hairless cats?
It's some chemical that some cats have and some don't. And so she developed this very simple test that could easily be produced and reproduced that people could use so that when these shelters wanted to match pets with owners,
they could do it.
There was a very simple test.
An allergy test. Yeah, and because when you don't want them bringing the cat back. Or
right,
something like that.
And aside from the amazing innovation and the simplicity, the beauty and the simplicity, she won thousands of dollars at the International Science Fair because the judges were so impressed. Who'd have thunk? That's right.
Okay, I have to ask you one more question. Do you remember any of the science projects that boys did?
Well, yes.
Okay, that's enough.
There are lots of good science projects. You know, when I look at the science projects and someone asks me, was that a young woman or a young man that did it? I have to go look it up in the chart.
I
in
wouldn't
the
be
table.
surprised. That's just it.
Because
You know,
I
it's like we
don't
talked
pay
about before.
attention. I don't pay attention.
GNOSEF.org. Now, people can go there, and for that, they can send an email, because this thing is sponsored by Tulane, but it's actually this go-around is going on at UNO.
Well,
Or some of
it's for a while now been hosted at UNO. So the GNOSEF.
Cheaper parking out there, for one thing. Plus, De La Salle's always having some run. Every time I got to go up there, there's a bunch of kids running up and down St. Charles and going, hey, come on, get a car, buy a golf club.
Honestly, the reason we're at UNO is, they're very gracious partners, and they have the size facility that we need, which at the moment does not exist at Tulane.
Well, they have a football stadium, so y'all can have it outdoor things. Like, it'll be all drone things.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, they ain't using that football stadium until next year. So there you
first
go.
day it rains.
GNOSEF.org.
Yes.
And I mean, again, a school, I can't just go, my kid's real smart, my kid's going to go. The school themselves have to.
It has to be nominated through a school or through a homeschool association. Homeschool students have participated in the past, but it has to be through their homeschool association because, honestly, we're limited by space. And so that's why we limit it.
If that's the case, I go out to a movie, I have to audition. Does somebody have to audition for this? That's why they get nominated by their school, because the school goes, oh, this is cool, this will meet your criteria, as opposed to me or my kids showing up with, a nuclear bomb with everything but the fissionable material. Would y'all look at that and go, yeah, you're in?
Okay, so that addresses a couple of different things. There are a few embedded questions in what you just asked.
No, I just want to know, they have to be through a school. I'm out of time anyway. But so they have to be nominated by a school or a legitimate homeschool organization.
Yes.
Their school.
Yes, they do. So a teacher, for example, can go to the GNOSEF.org site and they see something called a teacher portal, and that has all the information for teachers, what they need to do. This whole issue of hazardous projects, there's a whole process for that. They can learn about that.
They can't really do, I was saying everything but the fissionable material. You cannot bring toxic materials into this.
Absolutely not.
You can do the paperwork on it and go, I did this someplace else and this is what I found out in my study. But no, you can't bring sulfuric acid into the place.
Absolutely not. And I will tell you that we follow the international guidelines for safe research. And so that's why there are some projects that if you fall under a certain number of categories, you have to submit your project ahead of time for prior approval before you can do your project.
Now,
and that keeps all the kids safe.
This is coming up on February the 23rd through the 25th. That's when it starts. The judging is that Wednesday.
Correct.
So what is the absolute latest date somebody can show up with something cool and get into this mix?
Okay, so I believe the date is January 15th or January 20th. I'd have to go back and look. We have sent that out.
But it'll be on the website.
It's on the website. We have sent the information to all of our affiliated schools because by affiliating, you're saying, I'm interested, send me the pertinent information. So they can send me emails with questions. They can register their students. Right now, if someone wants to embark upon a hazardous project that hasn't already been approved, and our SRC has looked at several hundred, that's too late for that.
It's too late for that, but it's not too late to get involved.
Absolutely.
Last thing, I'm way over time. What's it cost? Does it cost the student anything at all?
Absolutely
There's
nothing.
no entrance fee or nothing like that?
No.
Anything?
No.
As long as your science project passes your criteria and it's not going to blow up and it's not going to be a volcano, it's good to go.
Yeah, there is no cost. There is a certain cost going on to state. They do have a registration fee if you advance to state. We cover the cost of the kids we send to the International Science Fair through generous donations.
From a cool bunch of like H. Britton Sandiford and the Patrick Taylor Foundation and Tulane and let's see, UNO and Women for a Better Louisiana. So, no Men for a Better Louisiana. Where are you guys at?
That's right.
There you go.
And I would like to say that if people are interested in helping out, we definitely are looking for judges. They can go to the volunteer link on our website.
But good
if
judges.
If people want to judge.
You don't want me judging nothing. If it ain't a volcano, you lose. Done. Annette, thanks so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate you
much.
taking the time. All right, y'all don't go no place. When we come back, Novo, the New Orleans Volunteer Orchestra, is going to perform on Unplug That. Right back here on the Spudcast.
You're watching WLAE, New Orleans Public Television. Find us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
They say that when you're facing extreme danger, your life flashes before you. If you think that's sad, consider facing it before you even have enough life to flash before your eyes. Deaths and injuries can be prevented by using the right car seat. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat to know what is appropriate for each age and size.
Okay, so as we expand the musical horizons of the Unplugged That segment, we now have something I didn't know existed, but y'all been around for a long time. This is Chris Bergeron, and he is the co-founder and the director of Novo, the New Orleans Volunteer Orchestra, correct?
That's right.
And it's Chris, it's like, now, as the conductor of an orchestra, you would be like Christophe Bergeron or something like that.
I thought about changing it and making it a little French or something, but I'll just stick with Chris. People know.
You could do one of them.
I'm doing the mustache, so it's have to have something.
A little Salvador Dali action going on over there. What is Novo?
Okay, Novo is it's a 60-piece orchestra and about a 40-piece choir in here in New Orleans. We started at Loyola University, and now it's just an ensemble. We play free concerts uptown, and we just want people to know about us and to come to our concerts. If anybody plays an instrument, if they want to join or if they want to sing.
We're assuming you need to play it well, though. I mean, this is not the Oompa band from Petticoat Junction.
We actually play pretty hard stuff. I mean, our concerts are really good. I mean, you can go on our website and look at our CDs. We have pretty good recordings. So,
but you also play, and your compadres here are going to play something cool from the Christmas concert you just had. That a lot of places you're not going to hear this kind of stuff unless you luck up and catch it on CBS.
Right, exactly. Yeah, we play a lot of mix of the classical symphonic music, and we play a lot of movie soundtracks. We play a lot of video game music. So we try to have our mission that music is for everybody. We want to see kids at our concerts. We want to see everybody.
We were talking before with John over here about y'all did a concert that y'all played, like it wasn't Mario Brothers. What was it? And
we did Super Smash Brothers.
And y'all actually had a screen and people playing while y'all played the music.
Yeah, we had a screen, and the audience members who won the raffle went up and they played the video game on a big projector at the concert, like live, while the orchestra played the soundtrack for the game. It was the coolest thing ever.
Are most of your concerts at the St. Charles Avenue Baptist Church?
Yeah, that's where we rehearse and that's where we perform most of the time.
And it's free, but donations are accepted.
Yeah, donations are accepted. All the money goes to just keeping the lights on. Really, I mean, no one gets paid. It's a completely volunteer staff. So that's all. So we do need help in donations, but it is completely free for everyone.
But y'all do have CDs you can buy and we a big pot when you come to see the show.
Yeah, we sell merchandise. I mean, we have stuff like that. We haven't sold CDs yet, but that's something that we're going to be doing soon. But we've been around for 4 years, so it's just been really awesome.
All right, so it's now it's January the 6th. It's Epiphany. What's the next concert you're actually going to be doing?
Well, that's kind of exclusive. We don't want to release it too early, but what we're thinking, since it's going to be Easter, some kind of maybe Requiem or some kind of throwback to some old stuff we did, maybe some Doctor Who. If anybody wants to join, our website is www.novorchestra.com, and they can join, they can get more information, they can donate online. So we ask anybody who's interested to want to support us to come and support us.
And who we got over here? You're one of the co-founders too, right?
That's right. Joseph Cieslak.
Joseph Cieslak, and this is Howard DeSell, who is going to be playing the trap, and Joseph is going to be playing the piano, and me and Christophe Bergeron are going to step aside here and listen to some wonderful music that unfortunately those of us who did not make the concert missed. So we're going to get a little taste of it. This is New Orleans Volunteer Orchestra. How you like that, huh? That's cool. Beautiful music, beautiful job. And these guys are volunteers. They volunteer their time and their talent. Classical, classy, Novo. Now, remember that we're here every Wednesday and Saturday at 6 and Thursdays at 2. If you got a comment or a question, you can write me at spudcasttv@gmail.com. If you got a gripe about the world, full of praise for somebody, want to know what you're thinking, grab your smartphone or your computer. Join me for a live chat every Friday morning at nola.com/spud at 11 o'clock. You can even watch a podcast of all the Spudcast shows there, too. You can follow me on Facebook, Spud's Friends and Fans. Twitter is Spud Got That. If you got a product or a business, our affluent, educated audience is great for your business. Just write me at spudcasttv@gmail.com for more information to become an underwriter. And thank you to our underwriters who make this show possible. Show them your support, please. Thanks also to our guests and to you for joining us and making this show a success. Next time, I'm going behind the scenes at Haydale's to see just how they make all them famous king cakes. So, who's going to get the baby? I don't know. Tune in and find out. Until then, I'll see you. Tell a friend about the Spudcast. Thanks for joining us. I'm a gone come. The Spudcast is brought to you by welcome to Dornax Food.
Actually, welcome to the new and improved Dornax Food Center. Wait till you see all the improvements we've made. A new bakery department? Yeah, we got that.
An expanded floral department? And a larger produce section? Yeah, we got that.
We've redesigned the store to make it easier to shop. Don't you just love the new floors?
A new cafe area with a new menu? Oh, yeah. We got that.
A better shopping experience? Yeah, you'll get that at Dornax Food Center.
Jamie wanted a taste of the real New Orleans, and we just couldn't say no to that face. Then we wanted more of that local flavor. So Betty says, oh yeah, that's Betty. You're gonna want to do this alligator thing. And Betty didn't lead us wrong. A little later, we passed some dancing. And who doesn't like dancing? Especially when it's followed by fireworks. Everyone's NOLA is different. Follow yours.
Do your legs often feel tired, heavy, achy, have swelling or cramps and restlessness at night? Some problems are obvious, others run deeper. Don't live with it when you can live instead. Dr. Randall Juleff, cardiovascular surgeon, treats venous insufficiency in office with no downtime for you. Covered by Medicare and most insurance. Not sure if your veins are the problem? The virtual vein screening is the right start. Online at labellavitavein.com.